What do you want from a disaster movie? If you're like me, you want tsunamis, earthquakes, things falling from the sky, the earth splitting open. I want to see the violence of the earth. If you're like me, you'd probably want something like 2012. I really like this movie. If you're like Donald Trump, you're probably going to want Greenland. Okay, so now that my clickbaity thumbnail and intro is out of the way, this is going to be a review for Greenland 2. I just watched the first Greenland yesterday so that I could be prepared for this one, and I'll have to say the second one is better. But that's just because it gives me more of what I want from a disaster movie, and that is disaster things happening. In the first one, there was a few scenes of meteors falling to the earth, but other than that, it was a lot of just drama between the characters, losing each other, humanity breaking down, society breaking down. That's cool, but for me, I just like to see the CGI fire. For some reason, when I watch a disaster movie, it's not what I want from every movie, but sometimes you just gotta scratch that itch. So first of all, I really thought that it was a really cool concept to have a sequel to a disaster movie. Usually these world-ending movies, there's just one. And at the end of these movies, the characters look off into the distance and see they have to rebuild. And that's kind of what you expect. You don't expect there to be a sequel after a disaster world-ending movie. But that's what Greenland 2 does. So I was wondering if it was going to be a completely different kind of movie. You know, the first one was a disaster movie. So second one is going to be post-apocalyptic. And usually post-apocalyptic movies start way after the event has happened, or at least some things have settled. So it's kind of cool being there at the beginnings of it rather than the aftermath. The other thing I liked about this movie was the action scenes. And there's some great shots of just landscape destroyed. It looks cool. The action scenes were more intense in this one. It's like right on the borderline, I feel like, of R-rated. I don't know what the line is anymore for what if they're showing blood or not. I mean, maybe it's because it was dark outside when one of the characters got literally shot in the head. Like sometimes it's like, what the? This is kind of shocking. So that's always fun when that happens. And honestly, I'm just kind of standing here thinking about what other positives, but I mean, I'm sorry. I'll have to go to the negatives. First of all, there's way too much dialogue. Whenever you're following the main character or any character, they narrate what's going on out loud. Whether to it's someone on a radio or just to someone else in proximity, they have to narrate what they're seeing, what's going on, and it's very annoying. It's like they don't think that we know what we're seeing in front of our eyes. I mean, you literally see a lifeboat and then the person says, "It's a lifeboat." I'm like, yeah, I knew that. I was also very confused about what happened to the internet and the phone lines in the movie. In the first one, a lot of the ways that they built up the tension was, oh no, there's no more service. Ah. In this one, it's referenced that they contacted someone from across the earth about 8 months ago, and that was way after the impact. But then you don't really see them using their phones, and you don't see anyone checking the internet. Hey, what's up? Where are you guys? Like, is there any safe spot? Like, somebody tell me what's the state of the internet, because you can call people sometimes that works, but can you text people and then can you post online? I don't know. Explain it to me, movie. Second of all, it's very hard to latch on to any of the characters in the movie. Usually you don't have a lot of that in disaster movies. Like even in 2012, the one that I liked, most of it is just action scenes. But there's a lot of really cool characters actually that get their moment, even if it's a short moment. So in 2012, there's this angry dad who wants to get everyone out of his way. He doesn't care about anything. He just wants to survive. But then at the end, he throws his kid up onto the boat and he sacrifices himself. So even when these character moments are small in 2012, they're actual character moments. They did something different than what they usually do. In Greenland 1 and 2, it's just that these characters are just surviving. They're just themselves. And they sometimes do good things and they sometimes do bad things. But there's no push and pull really, it's just survival. Usually you want to give something to the audience at the start of the movie that shows they are one way and then they're going to do something different later on. So in Greenland 2, the main character at the beginning of the movie is told, you need to open up. But that isn't really addressed in the best way, so that character moment that they set up for him really fell flat. I did really like the 15-year-old kid. I liked that he didn't act like a normal 15-year-old kid. He acted like he'd been in an apocalypse world since he was 10 years old. He was kind of awkward, like he was kind of shy. He didn't have the best interpersonal skills. So that seemed real to me. There's a couple of battle scenes that went on that was pretty cool. And when I say cool, I mean they looked cool and they were done well, but I didn't feel any fear or emotion while watching them. That's what I want from a movie, is I want to start feeling emotions. It's just a movie with not much impact, even though there's a meteor literally crashing into the earth. I do wonder why they made a sequel to Greenland. I didn't know that it was a big thing. So I'm looking it up, and apparently the first movie was not released in theaters at all. It came out in 2020, and it was one of the first movies to change its strategy and do straight to streaming. It got $52 million worldwide against a $35 million budget. So, I don't know, it's kind of good, but I'm still surprised. Disaster movies don't normally get sequels, and why this one? But anyways, guys, this has been Boltage Bros. My name is Jarom. I do a weekly review of a new movie every single week. I also do videos on upcoming movie news. And me and my brother Kenny, the Boltage Bros, do a live stream at the end of the month where we talk about all the movies that we saw during the month. So come join us on the live stream when that happens. Anyways, I've got a bolt.